right, we're gonna get started on our kitchen basic roast chicken, and this is actually the beginning of a series that I'm calling Budget Busters. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking protein and we're going to be cooking it in a big way, and then we're going to be turning it into several different meals. So today is the beginning of that, but we're starting off with a kitchen basic. So this is how to roast a chicken, and I'm going to spatchcock this chicken so that it roasts in about an hour or less. I'm actually roasting off 2 of these roasters. There's a roaster is a large chicken. You can use whatever kind of size chicken that you like, and for the Budget Buster series, listen, you can even go just buy a couple of rotisserie chickens that are already cooked for you if that's what you have time to do. No judgment there. But I wanted to go over the basics of how I roast a chicken. It's super simple, and it's really too simple not to know how to do if you have never roasted your own. Now we're going to be roasting this in an oven. I have my oven preheated at 400 degrees, and then we're going to back it off to 350 after the first 20 minutes. So here's my roaster. I took it out of the package, I took the stuff from the inside out, and I rinsed it inside and out. With poultry, you want to make sure you wash things. Now, we're going to be spatchcocking it, which means we're going to be lying it flat on the baking sheet to cook. This is going to decrease your cooking time by about half. So what you want to do is you want to turn your chicken over, so you want the breast side to be down. You'll see this would be the neck, and this would be the tail. So if this were alive, you know, the chicken would be like walking around like that. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to take a good sharp pair of kitchen shears that you hide from your husband, that he doesn't use to cut wire or metal or anything else. Unless you are watching him cut open the bag of chips or something. Right, honey? Mm-hmm. Give him his own pair. You're going to want to start snipping down one side of the spine. And this is why it's important that your kitchen shears be sharp, because this is kind of a daunting task. But if you use a nice sharp pair, and I just sharpened these before I started using them for this task, snip all the way down to what we call the parson's nose right here. And then you're going to cut away the skin just to release it. You want to make sure, here we go, your inside is not going to look pretty, okay? So just be warned. Now I like to go ahead and turn it over this way because I have a better time doing it if the spine is on this side. Do it up the other side. Don't take too much of that thigh with you, but sometimes that happens. Now, you can hold on to this backbone and you can freeze it, and you can use it for stock later, or you can just toss it. It's up to you. This does make for a great stock, okay? All right, now we want to have a look. I'm going to cut off this piece of skin here because I won't be needing it. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab another paper towel. And I'm just going to wipe out the inside because there's little pieces in here that I don't need in here. So flip it back over just like that, and with all your might, press down and crack this breastbone. If you have to, flip it over this way. Sometimes they're stubborn.
Just give it CPR for a little while.
Right. Well, it will crack. It did crack, you just didn't hear it. Sometimes you can take your knife and help it along. There you go. That's what you want it to do. You see that? That's how you want it to look. You want this breastbone to be released from that cartilage. Now I'm going to go get my baking sheet and I'll show you how I'm going to put it on there. Alright, I went ahead and I just laid the chicken out flat on my baking sheet. I have this covered with non-stick aluminum foil, and we're going basic today. We're not going to even put a rack on it because it just isn't really necessary. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tuck the wingtips underneath, just like this. This is going to keep everything nice and orderly as it roasts, okay? All right, now I'm gonna remove one of my gloves, and I have a seasoning blend over here. This is my homemade poultry seasoning, along with some added roasted garlic powder and my Hungarian Szeged chicken seasoning, the chicken rub that I absolutely adore. This combination is one of my favorites for roasting a chicken. Now I have enough here to do both chickens. You want to go ahead and you want to season this liberally. And just kind of pat that in so everything kind of gets nicely covered with that seasoning. I love a well-seasoned chicken, even though you may not eat the skin, but the skin on this is going to be delicious. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to drizzle this a little bit with some olive oil. The chicken will render its own fat, so it's not really that important, but I feel like it gives the skin an extra crispiness, and it does add to the flavor as well. Tops, that's a tablespoon per bird, okay? These are going to roast in the oven at 400 degrees for 20 minutes, at which time I'm going to turn down the heat to 350, and I'm going to roast them for an additional 40 minutes. So these are going to be in the oven for at least an hour, or until a meat thermometer inserted in the thickest part of the thigh registers 160 degrees, at which point we will take them out and let them rest for another 20 minutes before we cut them up and enjoy them. So I'll be back when these come out of the oven. And there you go. These just came out of the oven. Here's one, and then over here, there's another. Now I tested these with the meat thermometer, and they are well into the range of 160 degrees. Now you want to take it right here at the thickest part of the thigh. You also want to take it in the breast, but make sure you don't touch bone when you're taking the temperature with the meat thermometer, because that's going to give you an inaccurate reading. Now what you want to do is let these chickens rest before you slice into them to serve them for dinner. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let them hang out here while I cook the rest of my meal, and then I'll be back and I'll fix you a plate of this delicious roast chicken, and we'll talk about some of the other things that I'm going to be doing with this coming up later in subsequent videos, so you can plan your menus based around what you've cooked all at one time earlier in the week when you had time, because bulk cooking really makes a difference when you are on a budget and on a schedule. Okay, we allowed our chicken to rest, and then I went ahead and I broke it down. So I just cut all the pieces into nice pretty parts. We're gonna take 2 of these chicken breasts, we're gonna slice them long ways, and then everybody will take what they want. But the rest of the chicken that's going to be left over from dinner is going to go into a Ziploc bag. I'm going to probably shred some of it and cube some of it, because this is going to be the Budget Buster bulk cooking series. This chicken is going to go into at least 4 different meals, including our roast chicken dinner tonight, which we are having with stuffing, gravy, cranberry sauce, and vegetables. Later, we're going to also be making a chicken pot pie. We're going to be doing a big salad, and we're going to be using some of the chicken in that. We're going to be making, hopefully, some sour cream enchiladas with some of the chicken as well. And then what you see over here is the carcass. Now all the bones and this carcass, which I have not pulled all the meat off of on purpose, are going to be saved in another Ziploc bag, and we are going to make chicken soup. So that's, let's see, roast chicken dinner, pot pie dinner, salad dinner, sour cream enchilada dinner, and soup. That's 5. If we have enough left, we may go ahead and do pulled barbecue chicken sandwiches. So that would be 6 meals for 4 people out of 2 $7 chickens. And yes, these chickens were approximately $7 a piece. They were large roasters. They were both about 4.5 to 5 pounds each. So that is not bad. You gotta make your money stretch. Now, I'll tell you, when we make the soup, we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna throw all the bones And the skin that's left over, all these carcasses here, we're gonna throw them in a big pot with fresh water and we're going to boil them. These have already been roasted, so we're gonna make a really nice, deep, rich stock. And then we'll have all of the chicken that falls from the bone, and we'll add vegetables in there, and we'll make egg noodles, and it's gonna be a delicious soup. Now, it's not the kind of soup that you're gonna make and have a ton of leftovers. It's gonna be enough for maybe that night and maybe a lunch or two the next day for 1 or 2 people. So there you have it. That is how we start out our Budget Buster bulk cooking series with roast chicken in the lead. I showed you how to spatchcock and properly roast a delicious chicken. Remember, we roasted it for the first 20 minutes at 400. Then we turned it down to 350 and roasted it for an additional 40 minutes. This chicken is perfectly cooked. It's moist and delicious. And I made some gravy, and then I took a lot of the meat juices that were on the pan and I put them in the pot with the gravy. So the gravy is perfectly delicious. I'm gonna tell you, I made packet gravy because I can and because I want this to be easy. So we're just going to take care of all this. We're going to have our roast chicken dinner, and this is going to be a great journey. I'm also going to be doing other bulk cooking Budget Buster series in the future. This one, we're going to start the year off right with chicken, and you're going to get a lot for your money, and I think it's going to be a big help for some of you. I know it's going to be a great help for me, and I hope that you enjoy it. If you have suggestions about bulk cooking ideas that you might want to see, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. I'm always happy to get new ideas. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up, and if you're not already, please be sure and hit that subscribe button. If you are already subscribed, please be sure and hit the bell button so you don't miss any notifications and you don't miss out on any of the real food for real people, real easy recipes that we present all the time right here on our YouTube channel. I hope you give this technique for bulk roasting a couple of chickens in preparation for several meals a try, and I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.